Hey, good morning, all teachers. Thank you very much for this opportunity for sharing God's Word with you today. Today, we will be talking about perspective. Okay, so I have a picture here, and in this picture, there is a glass that is filled in that way. So, some people would say with a grateful heart that it's half full, while others would say with a worried or troubled heart that it's half empty. So, which person are we like? Okay, so I'm pretty sure that all of us still remember our theme of the year, which is overcomer. And to become overcomers, we must have the right perspective. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 NLT. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not disaster, to give you a future and a hope. So when we face problems in life, let's think of them as challenges, but not burdens. We can remember to do them for God. When we think of it as doing something for the one who died for us, it may seem less troubling. Another thing we should not do is have self-pity. It will make us very upset and miserable. It can also make us think like we are the only ones facing challenges this hard. But actually, that isn't the truth. People all over the world have problems. However, if we trust God to help us, we will overcome all the challenges we may face on the earth. Okay, so I have another verse here. Matthew 6 verse 22, I take it from GW version. The eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is unclouded, your whole body will be full of light. Okay, so we need to remember to always see the bright side because there's always a better view there. Okay, so I have two pictures here, and in the first picture, there is much light. And because there is much light, we can see that magnificent view. It's also like that in our lives. When we have a bright or unclouded view of things, we can see good things even in the midst of our problems. However, if we have a clouded or dark view of things, all we see is gloom and misery, like the second picture. Okay, so I have a cycle here that I would like to share with all of you today. It's called the perspective cycle. So the perspective cycle consists of three elements, which is the perspective, how we do things, and the result. So in this cycle, the perspective affects how we do things, and how we do things will affect the result. And then the result will strengthen our first perspective. So if we have a positive perspective, it will affect how we do things, and we will do things in a positive way. And then when we do things in a positive way, the chances are the results will also be positive. And those positive results will encourage us, and it will make us, and it will strengthen our positive perspective, and then the cycle will continue. However, if we have a negative perspective, we will do things in a negative way. And of course, the results will also be negative. And then those negative results will discourage us, and it will strengthen our negative perspective, which is not what we want. So I have an example here. So for example, there is a worker in an office. However, he has a negative perspective. He thinks, I don't have any chance for getting a promotion here. I'm not as bright as this person. I'm not really as talented as this person, and my boss doesn't like me, and so on. And so when he works, he doesn't work with enthusiasm, and he doesn't persevere in his work. So the results will also be not that maximal. And then when selection time comes, he won't get selected. And then he can say, see, I can't do it. And then he will still have that negative perspective. And then the next time he gets a chance to work, he would still have that negative perspective. And then he would not do it with enthusiasm or perseverance or anything which is good. And then the results will again be negative, he won't get selected again, and the cycle will continue. However, if this worker had a positive perspective, he will do things in a positive way, and then the results will also be positive. And then at the end, he would see, oh yes, see, God did help me. And with perseverance, I did it with God's help. So we have to have a positive perspective from the start. Okay, teachers, thank you very much for listening. So now let's play